So today I'm going to be doing my first ever conspiracy theory video. So I love conspiracy theories and just like history in general. Conspiracy theories are like one of my favorite things ever. Like I could honestly just sit on the couch and like watch conspiracy theory videos for like hours. Like they're just so amazing and they just fuck with my head, like seriously. It just is like what we are being told is not what is happening. 99% of the time, what we are told is not the truth. And if you believe that, then I'm sorry for you, and you need to, I don't know, go do some research, watch the History Channel once in a while, because we are definitely being lied to about a lot of things. So I just decided to make a conspiracy theory video, and my first one that I'm going to be doing is on Marilyn Monroe, because everybody knows who Marilyn Monroe is. Like, she's literally everywhere, even today, after, like, she's been dead for so long, and everyone still knows who she is. You could literally go to, like, any home decor store, and there's pictures of her. Or you could go to, like, Target and find, like, shirts with her picture on it, or, like, her name on it, or whatever. Like, my mom loves her. My mom has, like, shirts with her face on it, and, like, pictures of her going down the basement stairs. Like, she's everywhere, and everybody knows who she is. So, a little background on her. Her name is actually Norma Jean Baker. Marilyn Monroe was a stage name that she got when she went to Hollywood. So she didn't know her dad. And her mom was mentally ill. She was schizophrenic, and she was in and out of mental hospitals, and Marilyn was in and out of orphanages, whatever. In and out of orphanages and like family friends' houses and foster care and all that good shit. And when she married her first husband, it was like it was around World War II, and so he obviously went off to war, and Marilyn, who was Norma Jean at this time, was working in a factory, like most of the women did back then. And there was this photographer or journalist or whatever from a magazine who was taking pictures of some of the women in that factory that she was working in. And he was taking pictures of Marilyn. And this is how she got discovered. And she was brought to Hollywood, and she was turned into Marilyn Monroe, who everybody knows and loves today. So she had problems before she was famous. She had like the mental problems and shit before she was famous. So, and she always wanted to be famous, and if you have problems before you're famous, when you get famous, that's just going to amplify your problems, because when you're famous, everybody knows your life. Everybody is going to know what the fuck you're doing and what's going on in your life, and that's just going to make your problems 10 times worse and 10 times bigger. So her problems when she got famous just got worse and worse. So she had a lot of affairs, including the president and his brother. Those were never, like, actually 100% confirmed. Like, both parties never actually said, yes, this happened, but it was, like, everybody knew that it was a thing. So she died on August 5th, 1962. Her housekeeper checked on her around 10 p.m. The light was on, and she just didn't really think much of it. She just, like, ignored it and then just went on with her night. And then she checked on her again around the midnight, and the light was still on, and she knocked on the door and she got no response, and the door was locked. So she called a psychiatrist instead of the cops, which is a little weird, but whatever. And so her psychiatrist came over, and he couldn't get the door open either. So he went around to the back or whatever, and he saw her through the window laying face down naked in her bed. So he broke her window open and to get in her room. Now, this is where some people think it's kind of sketchy because there was glass found on the outside of the window and not in her room. So it some people kind of think that the window is broken from the inside instead of the outside. So some people think it's like staged. I don't know. So the two men that took her body to the morgue thought that her body looked fake and like kind of bloated in the neck area. And then the first cop who arrived on the scene said that everything just looked too neat. Like the whole thing just felt too nice. And there were pill bottles found on her nightstand, but they were arranged really nicely. They didn't look like how they would if someone just overdosed on pills and then just died. And there was also no liquid in the room at all. So if you're trying to like overdose and kill yourself, you probably would want like to take your pills with like alcohol or something, I don't know. And you probably also can't swallow a big amount of pills at once with just your spit. And when they did the autopsy on her body, the pills, there was no trace of pills in her bloodstream or her stomach. It was actually found in her liver, which means that they would have to have been inserted into her ass. So I don't, personally, if I was trying to kill myself, I would not take the time to stick pills up my ass. I don't fucking know. I don't think anybody would do that. Let's get on to the conspiracies. I'm going to talk about all the conspiracies, and then at the end I'm going to say what I think. So the first one is the government, because she was sleeping with the president. So she probably knew a lot of things that she was not supposed to know. Like, when you're just laying with someone in bed after you've just had sex, you're just laying there and you just like talk about your life and you just like say things and you just like, you know, you like trust this person, I guess. So he probably just like told her things that he shouldn't have told her, and she just knew way too much, and so they just killed her. And so another one is a fake suicide attempt gone wrong. So she thought that she could revive her career by attempting a fake suicide. So Peter Lawford, who was a friend of Marilyn's and also the brother-in-law of John Kennedy, heard about this plan. So he convinced her psychiatrist to help with this. So he knew that like Kennedy and Marilyn were sleeping together, and he knew that Kennedy wanted to get rid of Marilyn. So he convinced Marilyn's psychiatrist to help out with this plan. And her housekeeper also. So her psychiatrist prescribed Marilyn some, sorry, I'm definitely going to say this wrong. I say it wrong literally every time I try to say it. I don't know, fucking know, Seconal tablets to Marilyn, and her housekeeper put them in her room the night that she died. So Marilyn thought that these pills could just be flushed out of her stomach, and so she just took like a dozen of them to overdose. And after she became unconscious, Marilyn's housekeeper called Greenson, and they waited till she died to call the police. So, I don't know. Why would they wait till she was actually dead to call the police? I mean, obviously, it's supposed to be fake. Like, she doesn't actually want to die. So, they should have called the police the second she went unconscious, and not waited until she died. But, no, whatever. The next one is the Mafia. So, Darwin Porter, who is a biographer and a travel journalist, says that a mob boss, Sam, I'm going to say the song too, Giancana, that sounds right, Giancana, possibly paid off by one of the Kennedy brothers to put a hit on Marilyn. He said that Robert Kennedy had gone to Marilyn's house that day and had gotten in an argument with Marilyn. So they had fought over her diary of her affairs and everything. And so after he left, a partner of Giancana named Jimmy Roselle visited Marilyn at 10 p.m. When he left the door open and unlocked, and 5 mob hitmen came in. So one of them snuck up on Marilyn in the front room and put a chloroform-filled cloth over her mouth. He undressed her and administered an enema of barbiturates and moved her into her bedroom. So they left after hearing Eunice Murray, who was her housekeeper, and her son get home. So the last one is Robert Kennedy and Dr. Greenson, who was her psychiatrist. So journalists Jay Margolis and Richard Bugles, I think that's his name, reported the story of Marilyn and Robert Kennedy's affair, and then getting into an argument over her diary the day that her body was found. So according to this theory, Robert told Marilyn that he would not marry her, and he wanted her diary of their affairs and everything, and she wouldn't give it to him, and she wanted to go and tell a public press conference, and she wanted to tell everyone about the affair, and he obviously didn't want that, and neither did the president. So they needed to come up with something to make her not do that. So Robert called her psychiatrist, who Marilyn was also sleeping with him too, and he told her psychiatrist that Marilyn was planning on telling everyone about their affair. So her psychiatrist was worried about his reputation, and so he decided to help them out and go along with their plan to get her diary and get her to not tell people about their affairs. So that night, Kennedy went back to Marilyn's house with 2 bodyguards, Dr. Greenson, and his brother-in-law, Peter Lawford, who was also Marilyn's friend. One of the bodyguards shot Marilyn with an injection of Numbatal to calm her down, and Kennedy threw her to the floor. While Kennedy and Lawford were looking for the diary, the bodyguards undressed her and administered a strong enema that would further sedate her. So the men left around 10:30, and Marilyn's housekeeper and son found her naked and unconscious in her bed. They called an ambulance, and one of the attendants, James Hall, attempted to revive her with a resuscitator. Now, her psychiatrist arrived on the scene, and he ordered the attendant to remove the resuscitator, and then he stuck a foot-long needle into Marilyn's chest, and then she said that she could go back into the ambulance. And then around 4:30, Greenson called LAPD and said that Marilyn committed suicide, and her death was ruled a suicide, and that's it. People just were told that she killed herself. And yes, she was depressed, definitely she was, but she was thankful for everything that she had. So she did not kill herself. I personally think that the government did it because of her affairs with the president and the president's brother. I think she did know too much. I think she knew things that could get her in trouble and get the president in trouble and get a lot of people in trouble. And I just think the government just didn't want that. So they just offed her and made it look like she did it, even though the pills were found in her liver, which doesn't even make sense. There's no way that you can swallow pills and they go to your liver. You have to put them up your ass to do that. And, whatever. That doesn't even fucking make sense to me. If you're trying to, kill someone and stage it to make it look like they killed themselves and you're using pills, at least, make them swallow it, because people are going to find out that they're had to go up their ass. Obviously, they didn't think that one through too much. So, I think the government did it. Let me know what you guys think, and give this a big thumbs up if you want me to keep doing some more conspiracy theory videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. Hope you guys enjoy. See you next time.
Where's my family from?
Texas.
No. I mean, no, my heritage.
Greek.